Stacy Lyn. Today, I'm making pasta from scratch. This recipe only uses 4 ingredients, all of which you have to have in your kitchen. I just know you do. All-purpose flour, salt, eggs, and olive oil. One of the best things about cooking for me is that I'm all encompassed in the process. I'm not thinking about anything else. This is the only place that happens to me. I'm using all of my senses all at once, and making homemade pasta is truly one of the times that I am, in essence, completely immersed. Making homemade pasta is really not as difficult as you think it may be. So let's get started. We have flour, eggs, salt, and yummy olive oil. So I'm going to put in 2 cups of flour. I'm going to use all-purpose flour in this recipe, and yes, I'm changing the recipe up so that it will work with all-purpose flour. It has more protein in it than 00 flour, but most people have all-purpose flour in their houses. And today, after you watch this, I want you to go make homemade pasta. And I know you can, because I know you have these I know you have these ingredients. Then I'm going to be using 9 eggs. I'm having to up the water content, and I'm going to do that through egg yolks, not the whole egg, but the egg yolks. First, I'm going to put 2 eggs in, whole eggs, and then I'm going to be using egg yolks for the rest. Egg number 2. Now, I'm going to use the rest of the eggs, 7 egg yolks. And this is going to add moisture and the right amount of fat content that we're going to need for our pasta, and it's going to make it super tender. So as you can see, a lot of these eggs are completely different sizes. You will notice a difference from the recipe, and you may have to troubleshoot because you're not always going to have the same size egg. Unless, of course, you're buying them again from the grocery store. But if you're using fresh eggs, they're not going to all be the same because they're all from different chickens and they all lay different size eggs. Another thing, that you will know that an egg is bad most of the time if it starts to smell bad. For one, another time is if it's kind of watery and really loose. I don't like to eat those. And they don't even smell bad at that point, but I'm not interested in eating that. So I've got my eggs, I've got my flour, and now I'm needing my salt. So I'm using a tablespoon of salt and a tablespoon of olive oil. Okay, so I'm going to let this go until it starts to really come together. Okay. That looks really just about perfect. It's still tacky. I'm going to knead it for about a minute. It's okay to get your flour in this a little bit more, but when you're rolling it out, you're not going to want to use too much flour because the flour won't have time to soak up the liquid of the eggs and the oil. This is like one of my very favorite processes in this. Oh, and this is like an invaluable tool. Go. Kneading this out. This is truly one of my favorite things, though. Your whole self is in to making bread and pasta, and you get to put your whole body into it. And in the end, you get this amazing food. And if you've never had fresh pasta, you are really in for a treat. It is so good. It's very different than the dried pasta that you get at the stores. And there's really nothing wrong with dried pasta. You can dry this pasta. So, you know, I love dried pasta, but fresh pasta is just truly amazing. I really like to eat my fresh pasta with just a light sauce because I can taste the flavor and the texture of the pasta. And I like to make like fettuccine and the style noodles and just make it with a little bit of olive oil warmed up in a skillet with a little bit of garlic, a little bit of salt and pepper and anchovies, and then put some nuts in there. And I know nuts sound kind of crazy, but they're not as heavy as meat, but they give you that just little texture that you need. Pour it right over your pasta, or pour your pasta really into the pan. Get it all warm at once. Man, it is so good. All right, so I've got my dough. And I'm just gonna form it into a cylinder shape. And we're gonna just wrap this in plastic wrap and leave it on the counter for about 4 hours. If you don't have 4 hours, if you have an hour, that's better than nothing. So you need to let it rest, because when you let it rest, you're gonna have the moisture. The flour is gonna soak up all that moisture, the gluten's gonna have time to rest, and it's gonna be perfect. So I'm just gonna wrap it here and let it sit on the counter for 4 hours. I'm gonna be rolling out my pasta sheet to the size 6 by 20. And this is the thing, I don't wanna get too much flour on the surface. If it has too much flour, it'll pick it up and it won't soak in, and then your noodles in the end will be a little bit coarse, a little grainy, and we want them to be super silky and smooth. So I'm gonna cut about 1/6 of this pasta. And I'm gonna put cut side down onto my surface. I'm gonna just press this to about a 4 by 4, maybe 6 by 6 square. And one thing that you don't want that's different than bread, you don't want it to spring back. When, you know how bread, you want it to kind of spring back. You don't want that for your pasta. You want it to be a little bit sticky so that it sticks to the surface, because if it springs back, you're not gonna be able to roll it out. So now I'm gonna make a little bit of a bigger square. Now, sometimes you may have to use a scraper to get your pasta off of the table. And it does need to rest or dry a little bit before you roll it up. Now, you can see that I have a few holes in this, but I'm not bothered by that. Even if I used it for lasagna, it would be okay. Nobody would really know the difference. And when I use it for noodles, I like a rustic look anyway, so I'm good with that. If you're rolling out your dough and it gets too dry, then you can spritz it with a water bottle. If it's too wet, obviously put a little bit of flour on it. If it's got too much flour on it, you can just get a pastry brush and just brush it off. And you obviously can get a pasta maker. That is wonderful. You can just put it right through the machine and it comes out. The problem is, to me, is I can never make nearly enough pasta. I have 7 kids and a husband that loves to eat, and I've got to make a lot of food. And obviously, like I'm saying, you can make big old sheets of casseroles with lasagna with this. You can just do anything. I can see my hand through it, and that means it's just the right thickness. Now, I'm putting a little bit of flour on here. I just want to make sure that my layers don't stick together. Okay, so I'm going to roll away from me, and I'm just going to roll it loosely on top of each other, just like this. All right, and I'm going to put a little bit of flour in between the layers if it looks like it's going to stick. I'm just going to cut strips. I'm going to try my best not to press too hard, because I don't want all of the layers to stick together, because I'm going to unravel them. Okay, so now I'm going to get just a little bit of flour and put over here while I'm doing this, and I'm going to unravel. And look at this. So I have pasta. Now I just have to boil it in some salty water. It'll be 3 minutes, and I will have dinner on the table, 3 to 5 minutes. So let me just say, you can make this dough ahead of time, keep it in your refrigerator overnight, pull it out, let it get to room temperature, roll it out for the dinner for that night, or you can dry it, put them in a Ziploc bag, or you can freeze these big sheets like this, then thaw them out, and it's like you've got fresh pasta. So really, everybody just needs to have this recipe in their arsenal. For more information, check out my website, stacylynharris.com. I'm Stacy Lyn, and this is how you make homemade pasta from scratch.